Positive energy. We must approach the issue with positive energy and honor. Okay, so I made this video that I'm like, oh no, this is interesting. So this is weird. But I gotta show you. This is actually very much San Francisco style that apparently has come up here and has evolved in some way. I believe the name is Maver or Mave, and that it becomes Maver because that's a San Francisco thing. But that's kind of interesting. That style. Yeah, that's interesting. That shouldn't be here. Huh. Okay. So the the other day I was making this video that I was like, no, this gets too negative. But it was another one of these, it's not your fault you're not getting hired. With the idea being, look at society's management. So you would think that there would be this management class that, with all of the things that you've seen built, with all these places that people go and, and there's these just massive, you could eat all this food from all over the world, and there's chefs, and there's like super amazing delicacies and salons and amazing stores and everything, and so then, you start to get this idea of, from the internet, right, then, well, this is what we had, quote unquote. So not only is it like malls from the 80s, but then you see things that are like, well, when was that? Said, that was in like 1908. And that these are constructions that are far more beautiful than what we have now. Where it's much more efficient and cost effective and chintzy and low budget. There's that. There are places that are like just amazing and over the top. But also, a way I've thought about it too is, instead of large public places for people to enjoy, now sort of how dope are your surroundings has been made something that even a broke motherfucker like me, like today I have to spend probably about 4 hours getting all my knickknacks and paddywhacks into the right place, control my wiring and all that, but it's going to be great. Like, I know, because of how I've set the place up, that I'm like, no, this is actually going to make like a lot of the functionality of my normal life easier. But I'm going to have to invest this much time in it. You see, I'm not hanging out. Look at that. Look at those beautiful birdies. Oh, there they go. I did catch this yesterday. They were really going at it. Like, this is the spot right now. There's all kinds of insects, I think, and I think they're just catching them right out of the air. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Wowie zowie, dude. Wonderland in nature. I think we got the ducklings. Ducklings are out on the shore. There's nobody out here. That's great. So, we're going to have that No King's Day. That's a great example of look how society is managed. That this idea of like, there's this man he's overwhelmingly popularly elected, and like the legislature has been elected in their majority, and to the winners go the spoils, and like read a book, but like he's like a king. courts keep realizing that what he's doing is totally legal because he's like really smart about what he does. Look at that. Like, mommy duck is checking me out. It's like, oh, it's that guy again. Why are you always holding that thing up? What a weird duck. Look at that. Look at all those ducklings. Like mommy duck standing there in pride. It's like realizing, she's like, oh, he's harmless. He's too stupid. Birds are flying around. It's a wonderland. Disney wonderland of nature. And look at this. Look at all this. The grass is finally coming in. It's finally starting to get, it's starting to do its thing. That first layer of vegetation that they need so badly before they could start on larger types of bushes and brush and stuff. I mean, they got some trees already going. Possibly it was that the soil was already compacted there, but I'm not sure. But I mean, this is pretty dope. This is really starting to pan out. I'm figuring probably by next summer this will be like completely and totally filled in about head high. That'd be pretty great. Really curious though about the volume of water. But I should probably, there's some things that I shouldn't so eagerly wish to know. So, yeah. Oh, more ducklings. Look at that. Look, they're just hanging out. So, this idea of it's not your fault. You see, look at how easily that's managed, They got a lot of cares, but probably not a whole lot of cares. Look at you, like, hey, what are you up to? What are you up to, weirdo? Don't play with me on your cell phone. I don't play. Whoa. Oh, there's somebody doing parkour. That's cool. Yeah, and then the homies are kicking it. More duckies. I know you guys are like, oh, more ducks, huh? I just like that now they have like a good solid habitat that they could just constantly hang out in. And it's much, oh, look at that. Oh. Like, yeah, get a shot of this. Like, it was practically like in my face. That was great. All right. Oh, this guy's doing one of those things. He's got one of those acrobatic things. That's cool. Looks pretty boss. Because there's sand there. And so, boing. That's pretty dope. Gymnastics, there we go. So yeah, okay. One of the points I was making yesterday, from the time I'm born in 1975, all my life from the time I'm a child, I could remember discussions about expanding the reservoir system in California. I'll just say that's 1985. So from 1985 and on, I'm hearing about this regularly on the news. Like, we've got to do something about the reservoirs. So it's not your fault you're not getting hired. Look at the management of society with all that time. And then nobody remembers the story of how Arnold Schwarzenegger even kind of happened. Okay. So the governor at the time, Gray Davis, he wasn't a very impressive character. Willie Brown, finally the Willie Brown legislation passes. So Willie Brown can't be Speaker of the House anymore. They had to pass legislation to get Willie Brown out of the speakership because he's just so immensely corrupt. Everyone knows this. Everyone knew, everyone knows. He's just totally corrupt. Always used the race card. Constantly. The master of the race card. He had it all the time. Ready for anything. Just the king of it. Becomes then mayor of San Francisco. Just starts, we got to build a new stadium. And the Giants will go to San Diego, or all these outlandish things that, and didn't in any way pan out the way people were hoping. The train system had this horrible idea of like you would have a way that you would paid, but then there'd be people on the train who would check because they didn't want to have people go through the process of paying up front like a bus, and to make it more efficient, but then that didn't really work. And so look at it, redbird, right here. Tweet, 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 beep, 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 beep. Anyway, so eventually the thing that happens with Gray Davis, so now the Democrats have to be really slick in California because Willie Brown is always slick. Lots of purple. He's the kind of guy who, just always in the hottest of hot suits, silkiest of silks. All the Democrats have to follow then. This guy Gavin Newsom is working his way up the ladder. You could see he's got the ambition. Everything about him just says dickhead. And phony and a dickhead. When you're from certain parts of California and you're just cynical, you see this stuff. This also is, I at some point I should get into the middle of California, the south of California, the Central Valley, and then the far north. These are totally different kinds of people. And in many ways, a lot of these groups don't like one another. So that's another problem with everyone wants to separate California's sections in some way. They won't. That would be actually make a lot of things easier to manage. A lot of stuff easier to manage, really, because it would be smaller. Even E.F. Schumacher's Small is Beautiful about economics of small systems follows this idea, but no, really, the management of society is not very creative at this stage. So a creative idea like that's not going to happen. That's why you're not getting hired. Why rely on subsidiarity when you could just centralize everything, have things go systematically, epically bad when the system, falls apart in some way, or just doesn't work at some node or something. There'll be somebody who will fix that. Don't worry. Operations will somehow keep going. Don't worry. And so when you don't have water to put out fires in fire country, we had this guy who was going to fix it, but Arnold Schwarzenegger came along and said, do you see how dumb he is? He's not cool. I am Arnold. And Arnold didn't fix the fucking reservoir system. And that's all that matters. The only thing that matters, because now you get to see this is who manages society. Even though it's kind of us, a lot of you who are younger, it wasn't you, was it? No. You just got in the workforce. You're 24. You're 27. You're not that old yet. This wasn't you. You're just getting your kind of legs under you. No. It took generations of people simply not doing it. And mostly the boomers, and to a great extent early Gen Xers, and now us late Gen Xers, we're not doing we're the ones being like, oh, I guess we have to have layoffs. I guess I'm laying off the two Bobs. Us late Gen Xers are now the two Bobs coming in. So what exactly do you do here? And of course, there's kind of a part of you that's kind of like, I can't believe this. How is nobody capable of figuring out how to provide a service that anyone wants? There's got to be somebody who needs services that required the amount of skills that I had to learn, the amount of time I had to invest. What was this all for then in the first place? A big part of this is so you understand the MAGA kind of approach, what we're really aiming for. is that there's an incredibly good environment for you to start your own business. And I mean, that's it. The problem you're having is that the management of society isn't punishing people who keep destroying the local plaza. Where are people going to go to do the things that are for normal people? When they never know they're going, it's another protest, another quote unquote protest. Oh no, guess we can't go out to eat. Guess we can't drive any place because people, they're feeling disagreeable. They have disagreement feeling in them, and anger, wrestle feeling, and so you get to eat shit. You get to live in suck because nobody will manage society very well. How well could they have possibly been managing these companies? Now you're seeing you didn't need this many people. What were you providing? What services and what products were you making? Like that's really, I keep going back to that. I keep having to kind of, go through something like this and then walk back through and go, wait. No, that you're thinking of it incorrectly now. When companies are incentivized to have a massive hiring spree fundamentally what it's looking like is that the government was making companies just hire people no matter if they have products or services that they're putting on the market. Now, they don't have products and services that they're putting on the market, so they're laying everybody off because they can't hide it anymore. It was going to happen. There's going to be some quarter at which it was going to be like, we don't make anything. Nobody's buying any of the things we do. And now the explosion of AI, LLMs, has that's just shaken everything to its core. Now there's just so much that I just ran into a little something on the internet. I'm like, I am quite certain this is AI. Let's just see what happens. Let's just interact with this. See what happens. See if the language, this thing's language usage starts to do something that shows some kind of a unique idiosyncrasy of a human. Or something like that. Like there's just certain things that it's like, yes, I see you are from faraway country and you're probably writing in second language. Oh, okay, that's totally cool. Let's talk. Hey, soul brother. What are you doing in America, soul brother? So, I'll one day. I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. It's just somebody I just happen to get and chat with on a platform. Like, okay, well, hello, Oh, that's interesting. Check this out. Well, that's cool. I didn't see that before. The ID Buzz. Well, that's kind of cool. It's like the electric van, or maybe it's their hybrid or something like that. That's cool. Yeah. Man, I bet that's really comfy inside. Anyway. Oh yeah, management of society. There we go. The Waymo taxis. Now this is a company that the amount that they had to invest in it, and that they're sitting back going, well, we have no idea what people might do. We might lose the whole fleet. Like anything could happen, apparently. And that's a fantastic. I had forgotten about that one. So if you're working for them, you get, I'm going to move to Los Angeles so I could do the coding and blah 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 for the da-da-da and Waymo and this and that. and everyone's following the rules. Oh, but suddenly somebody has to destroy with fire. And now your entire investment in moving to that part of the country, now you're stuck. Like, yeah, we're shutting this fucking hub down until further notice. I wouldn't be surprised if that company like sues the city or something like that. I mean, this isn't good. And then this is the other thing I've been thinking for a long time. How there aren't just big fucking class action lawsuits. Why the fuck didn't you keep my store safe? Why didn't you keep my apartment building safe? Why did my relative get burnt alive? Because you guys just decided to fucking give up a police station to these fucking maniacs. Like, at some point, this is... And I just got a feeling about this Congress. I'm thinking in about a year and a half, we're going to start getting some people saying, no, we got to have some hearings like this. We got to start dressing some of these people down and making them answer to Senator Kennedy's dulcet tones. So why do you think you're entitled to lighting a building with children in it on fire in the name of George Floyd? You know, that kind of thing. Nice long drawl. Oh yeah. That's what we're going to need. Because I guarantee you, no King's Day is not going to earn you friends. It's not going to earn you fans. Nobody's going to like it. Everyone's going to be pissed. And, yeah. And nothing about this is going to do the Democrats a favor. You're going to get people like Hassan Abi dancing around like Gollum in joy and happiness at the destruction, at the mayhem. He's going to be loving it. He's going to be loving it. Da-da-da-da-da. He'll be loving it. He'll be loving, giving you all the Turkish delight. Oh, yeah. But no, by the end of it, you guys will look like shit. There's not going to be, because there's not going to be a bunch of speakers who are well-intentioned people who speak well about the subject of, like, what do we do about people who've been here, and they have stories of people who, you know, were here for so much amount of time, and this, that, and the other. That's not what they're going to do. No. They're going to get outlandish fast. They're planning to do this around police stations and city halls, things like that, so they could destroy things. And it's because more and more the left is starting to show it just destroys things. Then who's supposed to manage a society? This is what you followed the rules. Like, this is really something I think about a lot. No matter your politics, you invested in the future by getting educated in very, very specific skill sets. So why are you putting up with all these maniacs just destroying things? Like, you're the one, you have an investment that has to pay off over time. So why the fuck are you, and then there's all these people who are, they're kind of like constantly looking you in the face, being like, well, you see, actually, that kind of shit. And no, you invested in a future. Like, that's the point of my generation, supposed to be able to then kind of give you the opportunity to use that investment, to use it to better the world. But instead, boomers and my generation are sitting back dog, legs up, on the back. Oh, don't hurt me, punk rock children. And really look at this, like, now you're seeing these feds paintball rifles out, or whatever, non-lethal loaded, and that you got Seattle Antifa, like, smacking their rifles. So these are people who have long violated the 21-foot rule. With the 21-foot rule being like a thing, like, if the police were to stop any of you who are hearing this right now, hearing and seeing this, if the police were to actually be worried about you as an individual, they would not let you get within about 21 feet of them without them having a very advantageous position on you. And the reason of that is because of how much you can do within the distance of 21 feet before a law enforcement officer could draw their arm, load up around, and hit you with it. So these people are just being allowed to kind of run up on these. Everyone's acting like they're supposed to be karate fighting these people. Oh, you need to de-escalate with them and use more kung fu. Shoot to disarm. That one, shoot to wound, shoot to disarm. I've seen that I've heard of that someplace. It's totally legit, bro. Like, these are not, when you're dealing with the left on anything, you're not dealing with people who are they're not being serious. And so, how are you supposed to succeed when you are highly driven in a society that we've had, like, almost about a good 20 years of faking the economy? And then we have this entire banking system. The Federal Reserve is actually making money on remittances sent back to home countries of illegal immigrants. A lot of people don't know this, that the Federal Reserve makes this teeny little tiny percentage off of all remittances. And all those remittances it only works if you have a constant need for remittances. And they that's one of the ways they get the cream off of the top. That's a lot of these companies that people know about how to scam cards and gift cards and things like that. This is how you launder money in this way. Well, they're making money off that. Those companies are all making a bit of money off of money laundering. That's necessitated by having what really is an indentured class. And nobody wants to deal with that. What the real issue is. And then people, you gotta go further and further into the Oort cloud until you reach the cloud where only men dwell. And this is, the manosphere nailed it. You can't afford the highest quality of men to do things, so you have these indentured servants. And the key reason why is because mom wants a good deal on her tiling, wants a good deal on the backsplash, wants a good deal on getting her topiary cut, and getting her toenails cut, and getting her hair done. And she doesn't, the politics and the morality, it's not really thinking about that. She doesn't really process that kind of stuff. All she knows is she likes those people. She likes them, they're nice. They do her toenails, they cut her topiary. That's what matters. It makes her happy. Morning. Yeah. That's why you're not getting hired.